Hi, good morning, my dear students. Welcome to English online lesson. This video has been recorded as part of ICET Public School online classes. With much pleasure, I invite you to my English lesson. Today we are going to continue the lesson what we have already started, but we did not complete it. You might remember the title of the lesson is The Village Blacksmith. So, the appearance of the video and the looks, I'm trying to bring the ambience of a blacksmith. On that day, it was a Zoom meeting, and I told you to explain your explanations and thoughts over the lines, over the poetry, what you imagine about the written poetic lines and all. And very nicely you explained it. On that day, I promised that those who did not get it well, don't worry, I will send you a video. On that video I will explain in detail. This is that video. First of all, let me say about the poet of the poem is H.W. Longfellow. He was of a 19th century writer, poet he is. So he belonged to the modern that poetry school, and we know that he is an American poet, educator, wrote on the cultural life of 19th century America. And there are some other works also that he has written. The most important thing about him is that he tried to picturize the clear image of life, means the very practical way of the life he tried, that is not very fantasy level, not very imaginative, and never happen, not unreal things, very real practical life of human being he tried to communicate with his readers. That is what he has done in this poem also, The Village Blacksmith. I hope we can start, we can go line by line or stanza by stanza, summarizing each line, and we can imagine about his concept of life and what he tried to communicate with us, the readers, and all the possible answers, and all we can discuss is along with the discussion of poetic devices that he has used in this poem. So, formally, I welcome everybody. Open your book, page number 100. In this page number 100, the first line starts like this: Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village smith stands. The smith, a mighty man is he, with large and sinewy hands, and the muscles of him brawny arms are strong as iron pans. Now, first he has introduced a person. So he just introduced a blacksmith. So he is telling that the appearance of that person, how does he look, and what the mightiness, what the courage and power he has, that he tried to portray in the first stanza of the poem. The poem is telling that the workplace of him, and what does he work is, he just mentioned that under a spreading chestnut tree he does work. Under a tree, it is just like a very big, just like a banana tree. Under a chestnut tree that he does work, the village smith stands. There the person is standing. So now we can imagine that the blacksmith is working, standing under a big tree. That means in the shade of a tree he does work. He does do his work. The smith. Now he just introduced the person. First he said that a person, the smith. That smith is a mighty man he is. He is very powerful, because we know that the blacksmith is sharpening the means iron tools and making the different tools using irons and all, in order to make it and mold it. So the person blacksmith must be very powerful, because he is working with iron. So to bend it, to shape it, to mold it, you should have that much strength. Then only he can just shape the desired tools and all out of iron. So that the poet has just mentioned that he is very mighty, he is very powerful. Mighty means powerful man he is, with large and sinewy hands. His hands is also very, that does look very strong. Sinewy, that the meaning has been given in your book, that you can read that. That sinewy means having a thin body with strong muscles. It means that he is a working man. So the working man look like that means suitable to his work. That is very mighty, and he is very powerful with strong muscles and all. So if that person is just like that, very having much, and the muscles of his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. And is talking about the muscles of that person. The muscles of that person is of brawny arms, is hands just like this color only. Brawny arms are strong as iron arms. So iron bands. So his muscles are not very fluffy or soft muscles. No, not like me. So that is very strong, because he is a working person. His muscles is very strong, and his muscles are not because of fat. No, he is not fat. He is thin, but muscles are strong. That muscle, it means that he is very able person to do anything. So some people may because of their overeating and all, they look like very fatty, and will, that means having muscles and all, but it will be very soft and just like a sponge. It is not like that. It is very strong as iron bands, just like iron band, like that powerful. His hands is brown color, it is browny arms are strong as iron bands, with large and sinewy hands. We said that sinewy hands also. This is what the first stanza we got, that how powerful, how strong, how muscular the person is. That we could understand that this is a man is muscular, with muscular body and with strong muscles, with powerful body and all. That person is standing were under a chestnut tree. So this is what in the first stanza he said. So already we discussed that in that stanza he has used a poetic device also, that simile he has used. He compared that like using the word, his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. So that line is brawny arms are strong as iron bands is an example for simile. So what is simile and all, I have already explained in that Zoom meeting. We will compare two similar things with another thing, two similar things in order to that means make a comparison or an understanding. Okay, so using the word like or as, he is as an elephant, we will say that. So he is as fat as an elephant is an example for a simile. This is an example for a simile. Then we already discussed that alliteration also has been used, that mighty man, repetition of a constant sound at the beginning of a word in a line is called alliteration. Here it is mighty man is an example for that. So now we can look at the next stanza of the poem is this. Please look into the book. His hair is crisp and black and long. His face is like tan. His brow is wet with the honest sweat. He earns whatever he can and looks the world in the face, for he owes not any man, not any man. The next stanza is talking about his character also. The first stanza is physique and appearance, we said. So the next stanza we are talking about, as well as his physique and appearance, his character also we are going to just introduce in this stanza. That blacksmith person, his hair is crisp, that means very strong, as he is continuously exposing to heat. So using fire and all that, iron get soft and softened and all, it get that means forged. That using iron, that means using fire, so that as he exposed continuously to the heat, we know that our hair will become very crisp, very strong. And so to make our hair soft, we do apply any kind of gel or any kind of oil or something, we will do apply to make it soft. So if you can also feel it if you are in a very hot situation and all, your hair is exposing to that hot, so it will look very crisp and black and long. His hair is something different, his appearance, that is very crisp, black and long. His face is like tan. His face is like this brown color, is the color of tan. His face is tan, his hair is black, long, crisp and black. His hair is. Then his brow is wet with honest sweat. His brow means that this part. His brow is wet. That means his forehead, we can say that his forehead is wet with honest sweat. Here also there is an example for the repetition of the sound, that alliteration, wet with honest sweat. So that sweat is also not simply of his work, no, honest sweat it is. That means why it is called honest sweat. He is genuinely working. That is what I told, that in this stanza, character also, the poet is explaining the character also. His forehead is wet with honest sweat. He earns whatever he can. That is what is honest. What does he do? He does what he can. So very honestly he do work. So the sweat is a part of his honesty. That is the honest sweat. That is not because of his is not injustice, and he is not dishonest. He is a very honest person. The reason is that he earns what he can. He does not expect more, and he is not earning more, and what others, he did not taking the money from others. No, that what he earns is that what he can do. What he can do, that he earn. So when we are that means that he is not doing any dishonest thing. So in order to mobilize money, in order to increase the capacity of our wealth, no, he does not do anything wrong, anything malice, he did not. So he does what he can do, and he earns whatever he gets, that he earns, not more than that. So that the sweat is the symbol of his honesty. So the honest sweat it is. And then the next, you see, the next also is talking about his character, that and looks the whole world in the face, for he owes not any man. So he is not borrowing money from anybody. He earns what he can. He is not borrowing money from anyone, so that he can look at the face of the world. That is what meaning of it. He and looks the whole world in the. He can look at anyone, at the face of the world. He can look. Why? Because he is very honest, he is very sincere, he is a very good person, so that he can put his head high and look at the face of the world. Because no problem, he is not at all committed to any person, to anyone, because he does not take money from it. He owes not any man. So he did not borrow money from any man, so that he can look at the face of everyone, he can look at the face of the world. No problem. The reason is he is not taking money from anyone, so that he can look at. He is that much honest person he is. He did not take money from anyone, or he did not borrow anything from anyone, and he is not at all a person committed to in any way not to any. So that very courageously look at the face of the world. So that is his character. That is the competency of this person. He does live in this world in a very honesty manner, doing his work, that what he earns, what he can earn. So this is a good message it communicates. Even a blacksmith, he does work, how mighty he is, and his physical appearance, and the most important thing is his character, that he can look at the face of the world without any hesitation or any problem. That is, now we can. So here also there are poetic devices used by the poet. That is, his face is like the tan, is an example for simile. And there is an example for alliteration also. I am not explaining. It is that you can find out that repetition of the sound. Now, next stanza, we can look into the next stanza. So, week in, week out, from morn till night, you can hear his bellows blow. You can hear his swing, his heavy sledge with measured beat and slow, like a sexton ringing the village bell when the evening sun is low. Now he is talking about the audial imagery. That means, now so far we explained the visual imagery. How does he look? How does he work? And all we said that we explained it. His appearance also, the way he works also, that visualized visual imagery. Now audio, that means audio imagery we are going to explain in this stanza. Every time in a week, week in, week out, that means in a week, all day, from morning to till night, from morning to, that means the whole day, from morning to the night, daytime, all daytime, you can hear his bellows blow. That is, we can hear the sound. We can hear the sound of the equipment of blowing air. That means there is an equipment in blacksmith, they will have an instrument. Using one hand they will rotate it, or they will press it, so that the air will blow into that means that the air will blow into the fire, so that it will get fired. That means to make the iron heat. So they using this instrument, they make air. That instrument is called bellows. That bellows blow. We can hear his bellows blow every time. The sound of that air blowing equipment, that sound we can hear every time in the day, and in the till night time we can hear that. You can hear him swing his heavy sledge, and we can hear the sledge. We're using that sledge over that, putting the iron piece, he shape it. So that sledge, heavy swing is heavy sledge with measured beat and slow. That is in a measurable, to make a shape using a piece of iron to make a knife, or maybe to make any another instrument or something. So to make it, we need a particular shape, and we need particular sharpness and all. To make it, he does work with the iron, so that he has to hammer it. By hammering it, so with that beat we can hear, like the sound of it. when we using the hammer, when we shape it, when he works on his that means his shed, that we can hear evening time also, that sound. It is like a sexton ringing the village bell when the evening sun is low. So in churches in the evening time, the person who works, who take care of the church and all, is called sexton. So the sexton is the person who's supposed to ring the bell in churches. So just like he ring the bell in churches, this blacksmith sound of beating the iron, that can be heard, that is similar to the sound of a bell in church, so that we can hear that. So this is talking all together, talking about the working sound. How does it sound to the people of that village, how they consider it, how we can take so it is a person talking about in simple way, that a person is an hardworking man. That hardworking man is working every time, all days he works, and the sound appears like similar to the sound coming from the churches in the evening time, and the sound of the air blowing equipment, that also can be heard from him every time. So this is us giving the we can add this to above said image, this sound also can be added to that. And the next stanza, the first stanza is like this: and the children coming home from school look in at the open door, they love to see the flaming forge and hear the bellows roar and catch the burning sparks that fly like chaff from the threshing floor. Now this is talking about that the real life situation, that how the children are. That means just the poet is just picking out a situation from him. A situation. The situation is that children coming home from school. Children coming home from school. The children after school in the evening time, maybe after the school, when they are going to their home, look at the open door. So when this blacksmith is working, the door kept open. So through the door, the children can see that the person is working there. They love to see the flaming forge. And so when this iron that make it ripe in the fire, so it looks very golden, or we can see that a different color, reddish color it is. So that flaming forge, they love to see that. The school children love to see that color, the flaming forge, and hear the bellows roar, and they love to hear the sound of, I said that the air blowing machine, air blowing equipment. The sound of that, the children love to hear the sound. Also they love to see the iron that got fired. So when it gets fired, it will be a reddish color. So they love to see the color of both and catch the burning sparks that fly. So when he works on that forge, so it sparkles will be there. Spark, just like that the time of welding time, we can see the sparkles. Just like that when he does work, one hammer on it, so the sparkles will be there, so the flames will be there. So children love to see that one, that burning sparks that fly like chaff from a threshing floor. Just like that, a threshing floor means that word. Now we can think of our for example, our food grains and all. So when that when we separate that the outer skin of that grain, so after that, when we completely removing the the skin of that grain, that will fly in the air. So when we put, in order to avoid that the chaff from the food grains, so it will fly in the air. Just like in a threshing floor means that where the floor, the people are working and separating the grains and the chaff. Chaff means, umi അറിയില്ലേ, ദാറ്റ് ഉമി നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിൽ നിന്ന് വേർതിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രോസസ്സ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ അരി കിട്ടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ എന്താ അതിന് പറയുക, ചേറ് എന്ന് പറയില്ലേ, മുറത്തിലും മറ്റൊക്കെ ഇട്ടിട്ട് നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ ആക്കുമ്പോൾ ഉമി ഇങ്ങനെ പാറിപ്പോവും, അതിൻ്റെ അരി ബാക്കിയാകും. ദാറ്റ് പ്രോസസ്, at that time this chaff will be flying. Like that, the sparks that fly when this blacksmith is working on the piece of that iron metal, the sparkles will be flying in the air. The children, the school children, they love to see that one. So now we have explained here also, there is the usage of simile also, a comparison also given in this fourth stanza also. The fourth stanza is talking about the viewpoint of school children, how the school children, that means a daily life situation he has pointed, he has just explained in this. The life of a blacksmith we are going to portray. In that, how does he work a day, or how does he work in whole days, how does he appear, and how the children of this school children consider this. All it has, that means a regular life or a practical life of a person, the poet has tried to explain in this poem till fourth stanza. The remaining fourth stanza we will complete in the next class. So I hope that you have understood. I request everybody, please read the stanzas, all the four stanzas in your book, and you may just say the summary of it as a small audio clip. A small audio clip you send to me, the summary of this fourth stanza. Not need to read this what you understood, that simply you just explain to me as a audio clip immediately right now itself. Don't take much time because you know it already, because we have discussed in the Zoom meeting also. Thank you for watching my class. Have a nice day. Okay, bye.